Hello, and welcome back to the Goodness Margin, the place where we find margin for the good things in life. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about a book that I really enjoyed. It's called Eat That Frog. I'll be sharing some concepts from just the first chapter with you. I read this book a long time ago, and I was reminded of it again and decided to grab a copy of it. And I will put a link to this book in the notes below. But first, if you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell, and you'll be notified when the next video goes live. Eat That Frog, it's by Brian Tracy. It has so many great concepts. And when I first started to read it, I thought, oh, I'm going to share some tips throughout this book. Well, I got through the first chapter and realized I'm going to do a video just on the first chapter because it reminded me of some really great ways to hone in on my goals. And so I'm going to share with you how that he talks about the things that we need to do to accomplish our goals. One of the things that he says at the very beginning that I love so much is he says, clarity is perhaps the most important concept in personal productivity. And that is so true. If we haven't clarified the things that are important to us, then they're just muddy. We don't understand. We will never achieve those goals. And so let's clarify them. So he shares 7 steps to do that. The first step is to decide what you want. What wall do you want to put your ladder up against? If you put your ladder up against the wrong wall because you're not really sure where you want to go, then you're definitely going to get to the wrong destination, or you're definitely not going to get to the place that you plan to go. So first decide, what do I want? What do I really want out of life? The second step is to write it down. This is so very important. We can leave a lot of things up to chance if we don't write them down. By writing them down, you're required to clearly state the thing that you're wanting. If you don't write it down, things can really get vague and very confusing. And so write those things down. Step 3 is to set a deadline. What is the time frame that you would like to accomplish this goal in? And typically, most of our goals can be kind of big, and so we want to create little subcategories in that and to have deadlines with each of those subcategories. By creating a deadline, we are really forcing ourselves to say, I want to get this done, and I want to get this done in this certain time frame. Step 4 is to make a list of everything you need to accomplish this goal. The reality is we can probably start the process without anything. But sometimes we think, hold on, maybe I need this thing, or I need to buy this, or I have to wait until this happens. By really forcing ourselves to say, what do I absolutely need? What is necessary for me to accomplish this goal? We really can hone in on maybe the things that are holding us back from even getting started. I imagine that you can probably get started on the process of reaching your goal without having to get anything. You probably have everything you need to get started. Step number 5 is to organize the list into a plan. Now we need to create a plan of action. How am I going to do this? And this can kind of move back into that of creating the deadline. I have this plan. Now here's the subcategories. Here are the steps that I'm taking. What are my deadlines for each of these steps? Step 6 is to take action immediately. This is so important. Don't wait. The perfect time will never be there. Right now, do one thing to move towards your goal. What is one step that you can take? It might even be to call someone up and say, hey, I know that you're someone who has always supported me. I want to verbally share this with you, that this is a goal that I have and I'm getting started with it today. It doesn't matter how big or crazy it sounds. This is something that I plan to accomplish. Step 7 is to resolve to do something every single day that moves you closer to your goal. For me, this was one of the most important reminders in these 7 steps, because many times we'll sit down and we'll create a goal. And while that I love batch work, I typically will have something that I focus on during each day. And so there are some goals that I have that I'll focus this day. I'm really going to work hard for several hours to work on this. And that's fine. That's great. But if I am intentional every single day about doing something that moves me closer to my goal, it's doing 2 things. First of all, I'm definitely going to have some forward momentum. I am definitely taking steps, and so I'm going to be moving forward. But also, it really keeps it right in front of my face. It reminds me that this is a goal that I have. I don't let myself forget about it because I am trying to do something every single day to move forward in meeting my goal. An action plan that you can do right now is think of 10 things that you would like to accomplish. 10 goals. It doesn't matter how small they are, or how big they are, how wild and crazy they seem, or how simple they are. Write 10 things down. And then choose one of those things. Pick one that you are going to take these 7 steps with today. It's very, very simple. And if we decide to do something today, in 1 month from now, we're going to be so much further down the road than if we had waited for the perfect time or not moved, not taken any action today. So go ahead and take an action today. If maybe one of your goals are to minimize your home or to do some decluttering, if that's the case, I would love for you to join our private Facebook group. It's the Goodness Margin private community. I will have a link below for that community. It's only $10 a month. It's a group of like-minded people. We're moving through our homes and we're going to be talking about our schedules and productivity and all of that as well. But we're going to be sharing before and after photos and how that we're able to declutter our homes and to have our homes working the best for us. So if that's one of your goals, I would love for you to join that group. But if you need help clarifying your goals or maybe creating a plan, I offer productivity coaching and I would love to walk through that with you. We can set up a session, maybe just one session for an hour to walk through it, or we can set up a time that we'll meet weekly or bi-weekly and we can talk about your goal. There's also going to be a link in the notes below for that. I have another video on 3 tips for creating habits. Now, so many times, many of our goals are habit goals. I would love for you to check that out. I will link that right here. I believe that by meeting our goals, we are going to move so much further in life. And of course, we'll have margin for the good things.